Okay, next up is a predictable romantic comedy that actually doesn't star Matthew McConaughey or Kate Hudson, but it does star Sandra Bullock, and I'm guessing she'd be the third guess. That would probably be on your list, but anyway, whatever. And she co-stars here with Ryan Reynolds, and it's called The Proposal. And unlike most of McConaughey and Hudson's films, I laughed a lot here, despite the fact that I knew the ending before I even walked into the damn theater. And I was blown away. The film is about Margaret, played by Bullock, a hungry, no-nonsense editor who makes life more than miserable for her assistant Andrew. You can already see where this is going. He is, of course, played by Ryan Reynolds. But Margaret is in trouble. She is Canadian. She's in danger of being deported. So she abruptly announced to her bosses that her and Andrew are getting married. So she gets to stay and keep her job. He gets the opportunities he's longing for. Now, some of you film buffs who are watching this might think that this is a workplace ripoff, if you will, of the early 90s film known as Green Card, which starred Andy McDowell and Gerard Depardieu. While they are both good actors, Bullock and Reynolds just seem to bring a lot more energy and zip to the concept, and I have to applaud them greatly for their efforts here. And yes, every bit of this movie is predictable. We get the reliable, talented actors to play the smaller parts. Enter Craig T. Nelson and Mary Steenburgen. We get the arguments sitting up to the wedding. We get the more quirky characters. We get the mishaps, the sight gags, reluctance, everything you can possibly think of. And we all know where this is going, but here's the thing. I laughed at every single one of those things. Yes, to see the difference between a film like this and a film like, say, Fool's Gold was that simple. It was funny. This was funny. Had this film not be funny, it probably might have ended up on my year end of the 10 worst of the year. I laughed more here than I did during year one. And Bullock has always been someone who's been kind of hit or miss with me personally. She's done just as many movies I hate that I've also loved her in. She doesn't quite have the charm here that she did in some of her earlier films, like While You Were Sleeping or even 2 Weeks Notice, but I do admire her radiance on screen still to this day. She has it. Now, Reynolds is someone who I think is on the rise, and this is someone I've liked since his humble TV beginnings and has been a very good in slapstick films such as Waiting and romance films such as Definitely Maybe. I really think that he has great comic versatility, and I want to see more for him, and I want to see him doing different types of comedy. I also got to give credit where credit is due to former Golden Girl Betty White. She is also very good here in the role, typical Betty White role as the grandmother, but who better to play that role than Betty White? The film overcomes its predictabilities, and believe me, it is predictable. But I wouldn't be bored taking a girl to see this. So guys, if you're watching, and if you've got a date coming up, if you haven't seen Transformers yet, obviously, this is the film to take her to. You're not going to be disappointed. You are going to laugh. It's not going to be a classic, but you won't be bored. You will not be bored. It's a pleasurable experience with a surprising up-tempo flow. So, for that, The Proposal gets 3 stars out of 5.